speaking of, you know, doing the impossible, it seems, you know, Elon's other company, Tesla, has started to do that with the new updates to the Model S. And what I'm talking about there is they now have, for the first time ever, we have, well, in the U.S. anyways, a 400-mile electric vehicle.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, it is not the Model 3 100 kilowatt hour pack, which was a rumor that was false and is not happening. So just get it out of your head, people. But officially, real stuff. The Model S now has an EPA range, like an actual EPA range, certified of 402 miles. Tim, with the kilometers.
650, basically.
650, basically.
Yeah, ish.
Basicamente.
Don't give me basically. I want accuracy.
And they put out a blog
402
post explaining this. So that's great. I think that's awesome.
Oh.
Before it was at, I think 390. So it's actually kind of a big jump from that. And there were some reasons why. One was a mass reduction, so they were able to save some weight there. And a lot of this came from the Model 3 and Model Y, specifically talking about the motors. So if you remember a while back, they replaced the front motor in the Model S and the Model X to be the same as the Model 3 motors at the time, which, just so I don't get it wrong, and I can't find it now, it's the reluctance motor. It's the one. It's a very reluctant kind of a motor versus the induction motor, which is the other one. So if all the conversations I've had with my friends at EV West have sunken in at all, the reluctance motor is like better for efficiency, but has some other issues in terms of performance. And the induction motor was kind of the standard of like just the way to make the thing spin really, really fast. Very technical explanation for you. But, you know, and I think the reluctance motor is going to be better over time, if I understand from everyone I've talked to about it. Like, in the long run, it will be the better one, but it's not yet because of the software. So, you know, they talked about with their drive unit efficiency, so it's lighter and all that, and they were able to get a 2% more range out of that, out of updates to that reluctance motor. Okay, here it is. Permanent magnet synchronous reluctance motor. Okay, so I'm not just making that up. And then they also have these, I don't understand this, actually.
It's
they
a
have
full
these
flow
new,
stage combustion motor.
Yeah. They have these new Tempest Aero wheels and tires.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they might have a typo here, or maybe I'm misunderstanding. Tim, you seem to actually follow this stuff. Our newest 8.5-inch Aero wheel, 8.5.
So the tire diameter or width, I mean, the actual tread width of the rim.
So it's not
So
a
it's-
wheel, then it's a tire that they're talking
Well,
about.
I mean, you still have a width of your rim. So
Got it. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
so they must have made slightly
Oh,
narrower because I feel like
8.5 inch wide. Because I saw that and I'm thinking, like, I thought they were 19 inches. What the hell is it? And then
Yeah, I
it's just
think
like a tiny little donut thing. It's just like the wheel itself is just wrapped around the axle, and that's it.
It's like a spare wheel.
They just tape it to
Yeah.
the brake caliper.
It fits in the
Yeah, like,
front.
what do you even... Yeah, they just put some extra foam in there. Okay, anyway, so they've got some new Aero wheels, which I absolutely hate, but yes, they give you more range. So there's that. In addition, they have this hold mode, which are either of you guys using the new hold mode when you drive?
What is that different than the regular hold
So-
mode?
Oh, maybe. Okay, so in driving modes, you have it's related to regen braking. So you have
yeah, I do that.
Yeah, you have like low, or I'm sorry, I forget where they put it. It's kind of a weird spot, but there's like creep mode where like it's like a regular car. If you let off the brake, it starts to move forward. What's the middle one called? It's like non-creep mode. I don't know.
I think it's just creep on or off. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically. Oh, I think it's called roll. So this way, if you were on a hill and your car wasn't in the hill hold, it would roll like forward or backward, just based on elevation or whatever. Like meaning the car is doing nothing to try to keep itself in place. It's just on a skate. And then hold mode, where it automatically goes into that hill hold when you let off the brake. And this is really the one pedal driving. It's kind of funny. I think a lot of people thought Tesla had this one pedal driving thing from the get go, but it's definitely wasn't what it is now. Maybe there's some technical explanation there, but basically now, when you really only need to use the gas pedal, you don't need to use the brake hardly at all. I still find myself using the brake a lot, but it is kind of nice. You can just kind of feather it and control everything with the accelerator. I still call it the gas, whatever. So though all those things added up to a bit more range, and this comes in addition to a recent price drop. I thought it happened immediately, but Tim, you corrected us. It was back in May, I think it was.
Yeah.
So now the Model S long range. Joe, you want to hop over to the design page there? The Model S long range plus, if you click on purchase price, starts at 74,000. Is it 490? Must be 490.
Yeah, it's basically 75,000.
74,990 with a 402 mile range, 0 to 60 in 3.7, 155 miles per hour top speed. Why would you buy the performance one?
Because it's stupid fast. It's literally the fastest car in the world, basically, 0 to 60.
2.3 seconds.
It's literally about the fastest 0 to 60 car you can buy, period. And it's under $100,000. Why wouldn't you buy it?
Well, it's like under $3 million, really.
Because it's still $90,000.
But still, in the world of performance cars,
that's a good reason to not buy something.
But in the world of performance cars, that's like dirt cheap.
You know, no, 100%. You're not wrong, but I'm just thinking of it as like, I don't know, a normal human person that's not like trying to, that's in the how can I squeak out an extra 0.1 on my on my Ford GT or my Lambo or something. In terms of a normal person, I'm looking at it going 0 to 60 in 3.7 for the long range plus is stupid fast. That is incredibly quick. You are still going to be quicker. Like what is the performance Model 3? Isn't it 4 seconds?
3.2.
Or is it less than that? 3.2? Okay,
Yeah.
so you're right there. I mean, it's crazy. And so I guess to me, I look at this and I go, I would absolutely buy this one over the performance. The performance would be, it's not my, I mean, it's still 348 miles is tremendous. But I would want the 400 miles, honestly.
I mean, let me be clear. If my car could go faster, I will take it faster. Like, absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Ricky Bobby.
You mean quicker, but yeah.
I mean, but I'm also coming from the world where, back in my day, I would spend, $2,800 on a new turbocharger to make my car a tiny bit faster, and then spend another $2,000 tuning the car because now you changed the turbo on it. And like, I'd spent probably $10,000 on a Mazda Speed 6, like not a very nice car. I spent about as much on it, making it go faster, horribly unreliable, to make it go from like a 14.6 in the quarter mile to like a low 13s. I spent $10,000 probably to do that, and tons of headaches, hundreds of hours. $20,000 to have one of the fastest cars, period. I mean, that's a steal, and
really,
like, period.
Well,
like,
production cars,
production
a real car that you
road
can drive.
car, and especially one that's still quiet. You can take on road trips and do all of the things. It's still
super functional. It's very functional. We have our Model Y now, and I still look at it. I'm like, I think I'd rather have the Model S still, like in terms of function, even. I mean, it's night and day over the Model 3, but I'm still looking at it like, okay. Like a used Model S, $35,000. I don't know. It's still a pretty compelling buy, I think.
I still want to wait until battery day because I don't think I'd be able to afford the performance version, but the long range if it had the 200, if it could accept V3 charging now.
Yes, that's the big thing.
If it had V3 and if they update the interior, like just something so it's not a 9-year-old, 8-year-old interior.
Well, the interior has been updated slightly. I don't know.
It's still like the general interior.
Yeah, but like the layout is all the same, but a lot of the materials and even the coloring of items has kind of changed and shifted.
The color and the material, like that's
called design, Tim. Okay, in case you don't know what design is.
Give me an update, an actual different manufacturing line update. Change the tooling out, and then we'll talk.
At this point, they have to be able to because they're not selling a ton of them. Yeah. I mean, relatively speaking, compared to the 3 and the Y, but yeah, it's one of those things. So,
Joe, what would it take for you to consider an S over a 3?
A bigger garage.
The most practical answer.
No,
Yeah.
seriously though, like my 3 is a tight fit in my garage.
Really?
Yeah. I have to do
So is
the
ours.
slink out of the door thing. I have those gel palm rest things that you put in front of your keyboard.
Yeah.
Like
Did you
From-
stick
from
that
the
on
90s?
your wall?
Yeah.
I have that hanging on the wall in my garage so that when I open the door, it bumps into that. And I have to do that thing where, like the door only opens that wide, so you got to like crawl out backwards. And I
Is
usually
Summon
have
not
like something
worth
in
it?
my hands because I'm coming from the store or something. So,
Is Summon not worth it just because it takes too long, I assume?
I don't trust the summon. The smart
After
summon.
your story,
after,
Tim.
Yeah.
After every time it bumps into a car. No,
Wait, what did my car do?
I've backed it out once and it just started like it was kind of squeaking, and then like at one point the wheels turned and just started like going right into a wall, and I'm like, trust me,
Mine
I would
almost
use it
ran
if I
into-
trusted it.
Yeah.
We were when the new Smart Summon came out. Tesla sent it to me early so we could do a video on it, and I was testing it in my driveway because our driveway has a little slant to it, like has a little hill, that you kind of drive down, and typically the car would see that and just be like, nope, not going down there, and it would just stop. And it's like a 3-degree. It's not like a steep hill at
Yeah.
all. But as we were doing Smart Summon now, it was full on just gonna run straight into this big brick retaining wall around the landscaping thing, like one of the, and I had to stop because I'm like, oh no, it'll be fine. Oh crap, it's not fine. Like stop. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely. I think it tends to the ultrasonic sensors like aren't as I don't know, like high fidelity enough to really grasp like, oh, there's like something right underneath you that's slowly creeping up and you're going to totally scrape on it if you don't stop. Like it only seems to know if they're in the right position,
Yeah.
I feel like
No,
they
I
need
really
to, like,
wish I had the guts to just like press the thing and watch and see what happens and trust it. But I mean, this is still a very expensive car, and
Tim's Tim's garage story, and then your running over the curb Smart Summon story.
well, I had 2 garage stories because I had the one where it started closing unbeknownst to Audrey,
Oh.
and she ran into it just totally under, because that was where it still actually does this. I realized what it is when you sit down as you're going to change your driver profile, something pops up that isn't there before, like your phone Bluetooth or something, and it moves the entire menu one icon over.
Oh,
So if you
great.
if you're going to click the driver profile, all of a sudden that can be the home link button.
Oh.
Bad UI. It should never shift over
See-
like that, and it does all the time.
This
So-
isn't a problem on the Model Y though, because you don't get home link. So there you go.
Yeah, we need to talk about that in a second. But then the other one was one time I was doing the Smart Summon with where it does the garage door too, and something happened. I don't remember what it was, where it got what it thought was far enough away and it wasn't, and someone stopped, but the garage door was closing, and I had to sprint over to the garage door opener and hit the garage door before it smashed the top of my car.
I thought it still smashed it. No.
No, it did not.
Oh, okay.
No.
Yeah, we have that. So like just if people are unfamiliar, it has a thing where as you drive up, it can automatically trigger the garage door opener, and then when
Yeah.
you leave, it'll automatically trigger it. So we had that originally, but then when we got our second car, it was all kinds of wrong because it'd be like one car's in the driveway and I'm leaving, and it just opens the garage door, right? like it didn't have And I actually have one of those smart garage door opener things where I can control with my phone, and it'll send me alerts if it's left open for a certain amount of time. But the car for that to work, I think, really, the car needs to have communication with the garage door opener. Like, are you open? Are you
Yes.
closed?
Yes.
Was I in the garage? Because that was part of the problem. Is like the car wasn't in the garage. It just was doing what it was told to do, and it opened it, and then we leave it open for the next 5 hours while people just take our stuff. So you look at it, yeah, like definitely this is where I think a lot of the Model X stuff, in my view, I look at it and I go, it's too smart for its own good. It's trying to do this thing, but it's not truly smart enough to do it properly. So we just disabled that. Like I've disabled a ton of crap in the Model X.
Yeah. So remind us, okay, why isn't there home link again in the Model Y? So home link's like the garage door opener system, like in a car.
Uh-huh.
Why isn't there that in the Y?
Money?
Well, wasn't there an explanation?
I don't think it comes out in the Model 3 either. I actually got it installed in mine, and it's $300.
Why?
Yeah, well, I am doing a video on this. It'll be out in a few weeks. But one of the dumbest thing about it to me is that not even the money. Like, I understand if you're like, oh, hey, fine, it costs $300, whatever. I understand that. That's fine. I think it's crazy to spend that much money on a thing, but I can understand the reasoning behind it. The thing I can't understand is why I have to take it in for a service appointment, and why you can't just put it in before you deliver the car to me.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is, oh, here's your brand new car, yeah, and service is right over there. Just go ahead and schedule your next appointment. Like you were incentivizing people to take it from delivery to service immediately, and that's insane. That adds way more money or way more cost on Tesla's side than is worth it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So when
And so
you
it's the
took it in,
dumbest
you
thing.
had to get a piece of hardware installed in your car that could connect
Correct.
to the garage,
Correct.
and mine came with that.
Yes.
My Model 3 also came with that,
Yeah.
and my Model S and my Model X, and
I just
every
wonder,
other
is there
Tesla
something-
prior to recent times has had it. I think S and X will always have it.
Is there something
be-
particularly expensive about that piece of hardware that it makes it worth they've done the calculus and decided that it's worth leaving it out just in case?
That sounds way too rational. But
I mean, there's
yeah,
gotta be a
somewhere
reason,
someone.
like if they used to do it and then they just stopped.
I thought that it was a thing where they wanted you to buy the more expensive version, right? And so, like, let's say standard range didn't come with that. I'd be like, yeah, well, hey, you're buying the like, you know, watered down, like, feature less version. So yeah, it wouldn't be there. I got the all-wheel drive long range version, which is not the cheap one. And then in fact, the Model 3, if you buy it now, unless you buy the performance one, it doesn't come with floor mats. Like, not at all. No floor mats. Just like the raw floor. Unless you buy the performance Model 3. You're looking at it going, all right.
Steering wheel costs extra.
My Toyota Corolla is more equipped, I guess. Even Nissan Sentra and stuff comes with HomeLink. You know, like a $17,000 car. So, there's some head scratchers for sure.
I still feel like there was a reason, and it was something about like, hey, this, you know, new garage doors don't need HomeLink because they do cellular data something, and in the future no one will have a infrared,
Oh,
you know, or
Elon
radio.
tweeted something like that, but it's sure.
I mean,
But that's the same kind of reasoning of like, you know, you don't need that because Solar Roof has this thing. And so, you know, all homes in 100 years from now will have solar roofs, so you don't need it now.
or
It's like
it's
it's a
Apple
non-argument.
card. It's an Apple card
Huh?
of like, you don't need USB-C now that we have or you don't need a USB-A. Now we have USB-C, no more USB-A ever. It's like, what?
Yeah.
but there's still some
No
things
one
that-
else is going to ever want that.
Yeah.
Right. It's the
There's something
it's a
better
very
now.
Apple-esque.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then you have to wonder, like, I mean, obviously Elon expresses himself fully on Twitter, but if ever anyone's ever like, hey, that kind of sounds like you're a billionaire that doesn't live in the same world as the rest of us, you know,
Right.
because we still have garage door openers.
Right.
You know, there's definitely
Yeah.
a lot of things of like, why would anyone need that? I just have my servant to do that for me. You know?
Well, don't you have a guy that stands there and opens your door when you get there anyway?
And it
Exactly.
announces you when you walk in a room.
Yeah. Like, well, it doesn't work on your, you know, handprint touchscreen entryway thing anyways. What, you know?
Here we go. Here's his answer. April 3rd. This is from after replying to the third row, who said, I don't get why they don't make HomeLink a software upgrade. Complicated to install, expensive licensing fees. I don't get it. It sucks because this is one of the best Tesla features, hands down. My Model 3, same with it, but when I buy a new performance soon, it will not have, you know.
Oh, performance doesn't even include it.
Nope. And Elon said, HomeLink is third-party hardware that increase costs of all cars, but only some people use it. So it's only installed upon request. Long-term, garage openers are transitioning to Wi-Fi activated. I don't know.
I get the logic, but
That
I mean,
definitely sounds like you're a rich bastard.
Well, but that's
like,
a-
who would
that-
want that, you know, inferior tech?
that's a home thing. How often do you get your garage doors changed? You know?
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that begs the question. Okay, before you had the HomeLink installed, was there at least was there the garage door buttons and stuff still in the UI?
No, nothing. Zero.
So then it's not like we're using. You know what I mean? Okay, so
Yeah.
I can see where you'd be like,
It's
listen,
ridiculous.
you can program it. We just didn't have the hardware for HomeLink because that's a hardware thing. But we still have the thing here, and you can just program your Wi-Fi garage door opener. But if that's not a thing that you can do,
Right.
then it had no option.
So the answer, and in the video, it's going to be making fun of this whole thing. The answer is you take the actual garage door thing that came with it, or buy a universal one for $10. Boom, there you go. But now your minimalist, beautiful, hipster thing is dead because you just added a button. How could you? And a Model 3 fairy dies when you say that.
This is one of those things that's like how quickly you get spoiled.
Yeah.
Right.
Because do you know how long it took after the 10 years or so that I lived in this house to stop going like this when I drove into my garage, because my garage door opener was always like attached to my visor,
Yep.
It took so long to stop like automatically making that motion. and that garage door opener is still in my car. So if I ever need to use it, I can just do it the way it's been done for the last 50 years, But I'm with you. Like when I find out that it doesn't have HomeLink, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How dare
It's
they?
ridiculous. Well, and for us, I mean, dude, we paid almost $70,000 here.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And again, my argument isn't that there shouldn't be a cost. My argument is just let me choose the damn thing before I get the car, so I
Right.
don't have to take it to service and give you the car for a day. That like adds insult to injury. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely make it in the configurator. You can just click include HomeLink, pay $300
It's
if you
almost
need
like-
to or whatever, but make it so it's installed and ready to go when I pick it up.
It's almost like the Tesla version of the Apple monitor stand.
Yeah.
Where it's like $1,000, but if you just included it in the price, no one would balk at it.
Right.
But because it's $1,000 for a little stand,
Yeah.
it's
they
like a
should-
huge item. I mean, we've been talking about it for 5 minutes now. You know what I mean? And it's like just when you think of it from a high. I mean, look, there's somebody counting every little penny of thing there, and I get it, but there probably should be some consideration for any negative press that comes out of these kind of things. Because clearly not including something like this with a $70,000 car, or even the Performance Model 3, creates it's fuel to the people that are the haters. It gives them
Right.
more reasons to hate. And I know all the Tesla fanboys will be like, oh, but Elon's, Wi-Fi, Gaia. But it isn't a thing. Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, people will not see
Right.
it that way outside of that little, bubble.
I think that it's like I said, we get spoiled really quickly, and there's something about having something taken away that
Yeah,
you once
that was
had. It's
there.
just like, what? Because like I got a Wi-Fi extender, but I still have some weird issue with, say, Spotify in my car that, like, as I'm backing out of the garage, it won't connect, and I always have to like screw around with the display and like switch over to streaming and then go back to Spotify for it to connect again, and it's just like this little hassle, and I get really like outraged over it, and then I have to remind myself that like for the first 6 months I had this car, it didn't even have Spotify in it, and I had to use my phone, which I
Yeah.
can still
Yeah.
totally do.
Which
you
is
know.
which is still like amazing. Like
It's still amazing. Yeah.
like my phone, I just pull it out of my pocket, and music plays in the air like magic, like
Yeah.
Any song I want in the world.
Any song you can imagine. You don't even have to know the name of the song. Just hum the tune, and it will figure it out.
you forget where you even left your CD case. Do you guys remember those CD cases? And
Yeah.
oh,
I
man.
remember having a
visors.
mixtape that had been played so much that it broke, so I actually like taped it back together. So there was like a little piece of a song that was missing every single time I heard that song. And it got to where I got used to it, so whenever I heard the song somewhere else, it like threw me off because that piece
You're
of
like,
the
"What?"
song
wasn't missing.
Chickateri what? Chickateri. You know what I'm talking about?
That was
What's the song
like,
Oh,
Bare Naked Ladies or
Ooh,
something?
I want you, I don't know. if
Yes.
Who sings that?
I think it's Bare Naked Ladies, wasn't it?
No.
No. Chickateri Cola. That's all I remember.
Savage
is
Garden? It's Savage Garden. It's Savage
Thank
Garden.
you. And Mary Smith had it. Savage Garden.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this clip from our show. If that's just not enough for you and you want to watch the full episode, you can go to olfpod.com/YT.
And if you want more from us, you can consider becoming a Patreon member. You'll get early access to episodes. You can join our awesome community. You can actually watch us record live and get your name in the credits by going to olfpod.com/Patreon.
So thanks everyone for watching. Check back every Friday for new clips here and new episodes on the main channel.
Thanks, everybody.